Good morning, everybody, and welcome into the locker room with Billy Schweim right here on 97.3 ESPN. It's the Christmas edition. It's Sunday morning. We don't have an Eagles game to talk about, but we got Mike Carlin and Pete Thompson in the studio. What's up, fellas?
What's going on, Billy? What's going on here? Is this what you're looking for here?
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Now, I remember
Billy roasting on an open fire.
Just let it play a little bit. Let's get into the mood. I got
Mike Carlin struggling which way it goes.
I have my Christmas
PW grads are filling the studio.
Yes, Pete. So Pete
and Billy.
All right, enough, Pete.
Is tired of my singing already.
It's our Christmas edition. A melancholy sound this morning on a Sunday cloudy morning. Everybody's out getting it's the hustle and bustle right now.
Cloudy. It was like spitting. It was cold.
Yeah, man.
Listen, I am not happy that I'm not going to a football game today. I'm definitely not happy to be here with you, Billy. Hi, Mike. It's damn nice to see you.
So it's PW Day here in the locker room, Mike.
This is Plymouth White Marsh Day right
Plymouth White Marsh High School.
Now, what do you know about that school, Billy?
Not a thing.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a damn shame. Nothing? You don't know anything about Plymouth White Marsh High School?
Nope.
I mean,
enlighten me. I'm Jersey.
Well,
boy.
First of all, okay, I'm 89. I'm a young pup. Carlin?
81.
All right. So Carlin was there when the band was the biggest. You know,
right?
it won everything
when
the basketball team basically dominated, you know, from the great Hank Stofko. Think about great South Jersey coaches like Tom Ferracco and Paul Rodeo or Bob Hurley.
Right?
Hank Stofko's right in there with him.
I mean, when you think
I'm a Jersey boy. I don't know.
When you think of Pennsylvania basketball back in the 70s, going into the 80s, it was like living in Jersey and you hear St. Anthony's and St. Patrick's.
Camden, Pleasantville.
Not even PW's above them.
Really?
It's St. Anthony's. I mean, that's who we would play in our
not
non-league
above
games.
Camden's been a juggernaut for years and years.
Yeah, but people.
Matter of fact, they have a third generation Wagner playing for Camden right
he's
now.
in the paper today.
That's right.
He is in the paper. He's
and Camden's been
really
tough.
good.
I mean, the Still brothers. I mean, they've been around for.
Yeah,
Let's start with this. How many students at your school, Billy?
Yeah.
Collins was a group 2.
All right, but when you graduated,
we were group 3. We had in my senior class, I think we had about 340, something like that.
So all right, so if you take 350 and you multiply that by 4, what do you got?
Yeah.
What do you got?
Class 5A, right? 5A.
Yeah, I mean, PW in its last enrollment that was, on the books was about 1,600 students. So it's about that size. But here's the thing that Mike's not telling you about because he's being generous. In the later years, then as you start searching for talent, do you remember John Salmons who played in the NBA?
Yeah,
Billy?
I remember that name.
Yeah, he was really a Norristown kid, but we
borrowed
him.
So you took him.
Yeah, we borrowed him.
As big as that school, Plymouth White Marsh is, you had to borrow people.
No, hold on. Let me say that. Hold on. Let's just say that we had people who wanted to move into our district.
Yes,
because they wanted to be part of the tradition. So we gladly took them.
Okay. Guys, you got your trees up?
Yes.
My fake tree. Yeah, I mean, no real tree.
You got a fake tree?
We got some allergy issues in the Thompson household.
Guess what? We're really together here.
Right.
I have a fake tree too.
And you know what? I got to tell you, Billy, there was a point in time. Do you understand that one of my jobs, and Mike will laugh at this, is I worked for Troop 12 for the Boy Scouts at Miles Park, and we froze our butts off selling Christmas trees. That was our once a year annual thing.
God.
I mean, in that scene where the father argues or haggles with the tree guy in A Christmas Story,
right?
That basically I'm the Boy Scout and the adult is trying to haggle with me,
Fellas, last night, man, we went out, got our real tree. I had a real fire. I had a real glass of whiskey, right?
Was it Screwball peanut butter whiskey?
No, it was not.
You should try that.
It was a Maker's Mark last night.
Perhaps if you're nicer to me and you show up for these jobs, I will actually get you a bottle of it.
You didn't invite me.
Billy, I can tell you when my kids were smaller, we always cut a tree down.
Yeah.
But I'd say for the last 4 or 5 years now that they're out, I
can't see myself.
My tree literally is up in 5 minutes.
Unless I can't even move. Unless I can't even like function, like can't walk or my back's bad or I don't see myself ever getting a fake tree.
I'm not cleaning up after.
I don't want to ever say never, Mike, but
yeah, you just said the magic word there. Billy's also going to do the cleanup too. And then you know what'll happen?
No cleanup.
When Christmas is done, Billy's going to come in. We're going to be warming up for the air, like we do our warm-up exercises.
Calisthenics.
Ma, me, mo, moo. He sells, she sells by the seashore. We do all that stuff in a microphone. We don't do any of that.
I'm even supporting the Santa beard now. You know, Gray?
You guys sit back so everybody can see that sweater. That sweater is something,
sweater,
man. Yeah.
Where are we streaming today, Pete?
We are on Facebook and we are on Twitter. Yes,
right,
Facebook and Twitter. You see the little F and the little Tweety bird.
You like that? It says "Get Blitzed."
Is that it?
Yeah.
Well, that's definitely you. Now, what did I tell you with that beard?
I look academic.
That's not what I said. But I like your interpretation of it. Well, I'm happy to be here with you guys. Believe it or not, despite my snarkiness, I am pleased to be here.
You know what, Mike? He comes in every once in a while. He'll start yelling at me, barking orders at me and stuff. Every once in a while, not often.
He's got to let him know he's in charge.
He's in charge. He's the man in here.
I mean, without him, me and you aren't anything right
That's
now.
right. And you know what he did? And I heard last week Pete took liberties. My show has always run police music because I'm a big police fan.
Not today. We didn't play anything today.
We're doing Christmas stuff today.
Okay.
But I leave this. I'm sick as a dog, and they hijack and they start playing what they want.
Yeah. Very much so. Well, I mean, listen.
That's my signature,
There's only so much. No, you weren't here.
We have 2 hours today. I'm hoping that Pete will slide you one song or from one person that we just happen to both like.
Don't tell me Bruce.
No. It's going to be a surprise. I hope later.
He teed that up. I know right where he's at.
All right. Well, so fellas,
yeah,
it's Sunday morning before Christmas. Was the 19th? We got about 5 shopping days to Christmas.
Right.
We don't have a football game to talk about.
No, man. Well, you're not riveted for the Dallas and Giants game.
No, but before we get into that, I thought Thursday night and last night were great NFL games.
Well, it sure helps when the Colts take their foot off the pedal and let the Patriots right back in it. You know what I mean? Like that.
How about Carson Wentz, huh? What do you guys think?
What about it?
It's amazing how quiet it is around Philadelphia.
Yeah,
no one wants to talk about it.
No,
now, if he was playing bad,
that's why I texted you last night. You're in bed. What are you doing? You don't answer your text message.
I had to get ready for today.
Yeah, you need his beauty sleep for the stream.
You're fall asleep under that fake tree.
Billy, I had to send this to you. My pal Kevin Nagandi from ESPN tweeted out, the Colts pick is now a first rounder for Philly.
Yes.
That's a big win for Howie. The Eagles will be armed with 3 first-round draft picks in the 2022 NFL draft. Considering how this draft doesn't have a bona fide guarantee QB at number 1, don't be surprised if Howie trades one of the 3 first-rounders for more assets in 2023 or uses the picks to try and acquire an established QB like Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson.
Build the defense. Let's get an ironclad defense, an impenetrable defense.
You're saying don't use any of the picks on offense?
No, there's no quarterbacks. What quarterbacks would you be interested in this year's draft? Is there anybody?
The Pitt guy is Pickett is the one guy that got everybody's attention. That's the one guy that the Eagles
guy from Oklahoma.
What's
his name? The kid from Oklahoma. Is he
that guy?
Yeah, I forget his name. But
right.
There's a reason why we don't know his name.
That's right.
And there's a reason why we're talking about the guy from Pitt. Because there's nobody else.
That's right.
Okay. I'm not.
Bryce Young is who you were thinking of.
Bryce Young.
Yeah, I mean,
he might have won the Heisman, by the way.
He's Alabama.
From Alabama, yeah.
I said Oklahoma.
But I mean, the guy from Pitt's just an average ball player.
Well, he's got a nice arm. I've actually watched 3 Pitt games this year, and he's got a nice arm. Yeah, but he's a big kid, but he's not. He's not
the first pick? He's not a first round.
But this team,
third rounder, maybe.
But our Eagles have been struggling mightily on defense for some time now, and with the exception of the Rager pick, I think offensively, I like Quez Watkins. I like, I don't know, maybe they can get another receiver, but I think they need to build the defense.
They do.
Our linebackers are poor.
They need a quarterback. They need.
How about another safety? How about
safety? A linebacker.
Look at Mike.
You think safety just fall off a tree?
Well, listen,
but a hard position to fill.
All right, so now let me ask you two guys this question I asked yesterday.
Oh boy.
Right now, knowing what we know, would you have picked Micah Parsons over Devonte Smith?
Oh, that's a good question. And for me, no, because that you needed one solid offensive weapon that you knew was going to be a changer. And I think that Devonte Smith, especially, all you have to do is look at the catch in Denver that he had over Patrick Surtain. And that shows me that Devonte Smith is legit, believable, and worthy of where he was. Plus, the argument is, and I've said this to a billion people. I see him in the street. I'm like, man, Micah Parsons would have looked good for the Eagles. Yeah. Dallas wouldn't have made the move, or it wouldn't have happened.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't have been comfortable doing that if they thought the Eagles were going to take Micah Parsons. So it's sort of a moot point. I would love to see a defensive guy in the Eagles, but that's not the way they were thinking in the last draft.
What do you think, Mike?
I think between the two, right now we're looking at Pearson's being a better so-called player overall.
Right.
But I think getting back to what Pete said and down the road, we needed an offensive threat on this team for this year. You take away him out of our offense, we're really bad.
All right. No Eagles game today, but we will be talking with Scott Grayson on the other side and get his take on what's going on. Now, the Washington football team just cleared like 3 or 4 or 5 players as of yesterday that are off the COVID list now.
Well, la-di-da. Way to play by the rules.
Is that unbelievable?
More will come off tomorrow.
More will come off
tomorrow on Tuesday morning.
Was Sweat one of them? Montez Sweat?
He's off.
He was patient zero. He's the one that started all this stuff.
All right, the first hour of the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. Surety is an industry-wide leader with a team of experts that will help you through the entire process, from contract signing to closing, from the shortest center city and every place in between. Surety Title is there for you with 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA. That's Surety Title. For more information, call our good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. Hey, have you heard about New Jersey's premier vacant home management service, My Winter Watchdog? My Winter Watchdog, those worrisome thoughts that creep into your mind every time you hear of a storm coming, and the daunting task of driving down to the shore to check on the house, hours of time on the road. Let My Winter Watchdog be your eyes and ears with their 15-point inspection checklist. They offer a full menu of maintenance and improvement services. Owner Debbie McGonigal and her team of property caretakers are professional, licensed, bonded, and insured. So don't let the winter worry you. They'll give your house that lived-in look. That's My Winter Watchdog. Go to mywinterwatchdog.com or give them a call at 267-202-1869. That's 267-202-1869. Or send Debbie an email, debbie@mywinterwatchdog.com. All right, when we return, we'll talk with Scott Grayson. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim, Mike Carlin, Pete Thompson, right here on 97.3 ESPN. One of my all-time favorites there, Carlin.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Bing Crosby looks really old. David Bowie looks really young.
Diamond Dogs. All right.
Love David.
It's our Christmas edition, and we're a little get into the spirit. There's no Eagles game today, so maybe our first guest could give us a nice big present somehow, some way. He can find it within himself. Let's go to the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline, and welcome into the locker room. You can read his article, Grayson's Grades, on 97.3ESPN.com. You can watch him every Sunday night on Sports Sunday, Fox 29 News Sports Anchor. And our main man.
That's the longest lead up ever.
That's right. Scott Grayson. What's up, Scotty?
All the Graysons are with us. Grayson, can you hear us, buddy?
He can hear us.
How about now? Grayson, can you hear us now?
He doesn't have the face
he looks like he's concerned right there.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Where are these guys?
1 2 1 2 1 2. No.
Scott Grayson, you there?
Give us a thumbs up. Give something.
Can't hear it.
It does sound like there's a delay. I hear it coming back and forth.
Yeah.
He's got to move his lips.
All right. So let's do this.
So let's see if we can.
You and Carlin talk. I'll connect him via phone. Hang on.
Right.
Go ahead.
I remember when that Christmas special.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching it when the old guard, and then David Bowie comes through the door.
Yeah.
Diamond Dogs. Remember how he used to dress and everything in that album, and it was like a changing of the guard, if you will. With
let's try this again. How about now, Grayson? You got us?
I got you now. Yeah, I couldn't hear you guys.
You missed my long introduction.
It was the world's longest introduction. I blame that.
Merry Christmas, Scott Grayson.
Yeah, I like the sweater there, Billy. Way to go.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
I mean, these guys, they got their Eagles stuff on. They should be dressed for Christmas. There's no Eagles game today.
That doesn't mean we can't still support the team.
That's right.
I'm pissed off.
You know what? I am too. I am too. I was, I've heard from a lot of Washington fans on Twitter, which frankly, I didn't know that many existed. Haven't seen them down there when we go down there. That didn't like my take, which was that, frankly, the league at the beginning of the year sent out a memo that they were not going to move games and that they needed teams to understand if you didn't follow the protocols, there was going to be forfeits. Well, now they look very hypocritical with these 3 games that all moved. And, the thing that really bugs me is the teams that followed the rules, the teams that didn't have the COVID issues are now the ones with the biggest disadvantages moving forward. I understand that not everybody's going to be off this COVID list for Washington. I understand that they're still going to have some injuries and some players missing as far as depth goes because of this. But it's what happens after. It's the fact that the Eagles are now, if they win this game, sitting in the driver's seat in most likely in the 7th seed and having to play the Giants in a huge game 5 days later. The competitive disadvantage that it creates moving forward. And what I feel like you're doing is you're punishing the team that followed the rules. So I have a real big problem with that. I think that is at this point of the season not fair to do to these guys. And look, I know Washington's fighting for a playoff spot as well. There's no doubt about it. And this game had every bit of the makings of a playoff atmosphere at the Link on Sunday. And now I think you're also diminishing home field advantage a bit, which was part of my problem as well. These people who plan out this Sunday months ago, or weeks ago, or even a week ago. Now what are you doing on Tuesday? You're taking off of work. You're going to go down there and you still tailgate. You're telling me this crowd is still going to be as fired up. I think a lot of these fans are going to be pissed off at Washington. And I think they're going to, I think the team, frankly, is going to take out its frustration on this football team. My honest to God, the way that I would have handled it, if you came to the conclusion that the NFL, that you had to move this game, I think you make both teams unhappy. Don't let Washington have till Tuesday. You play this game on Monday night. Then it's as if you had a Monday night game. These guys have been through that kind of a week before. And you come out the other side with the Eagles having a short week, but they have one more day on the other side of it to get ready. It's no different than if they had a Monday night game scheduled. Washington, on the other hand, doesn't have 2 whole days to get some guys back. It's comical. They got a couple guys back off the COVID list already yesterday.
Yes.
So, to me, I think the league botched this. I think they botched it bad. I heard somebody floating out the idea that, listen, Jeffrey Lurie is not happy and he will likely try to explain that to Goodell behind the scenes and look for a little scratch my back on the schedule next year kind of thing. I think that's probably plausible. I think the league may end up doing something like that with next year's schedule. But, there's no doubt that this, to me, was handled poorly, very poorly.
Here's the thing that concerns me, that most of these guys have had their vaccinations. They've been vaccinated, and they're still catching it. And we're still, what's the purpose of the vaccine, right, if we have to cancel games?
Yeah, that's part of it. But the thing was, it reportedly started with an unvaccinated player,
right,
at Washington, and it spread that way. Now, I heard a report that there are not that many guys that are symptomatic at Washington, that this is the asymptomatic version for all those guys that were vaccinated, and that the team doctor, I thought I read somewhere, said only 2 of the players he would have kept out.
Right.
So okay, then modify the protocols, which the league has now done. But if you're going to hold everybody to a certain set of rules, then those rules need to still apply. And again, you got to stick to your britches with the memo you sent out before. Listen, I was all for what happened last year when it happened. Boy, we had football games every night of the week, and everybody got used to it. There was not that memo before the season last year. Denver had to play a game with a wide receiver at starting quarterback.
That's right.
Now, why all of a sudden did that have to change? I'm not saying for player safety. I understand if we're running guys out there who were just bagging groceries last week, that's not safe. But that's why you sent in a memo at the beginning of the season that there would be forfeits. So, I think the league just botched
moving
this.
the goalpost, Pete.
Well, Scott Grayson's with us on the Maserati, the mainline hotline. And Scott, it's interesting to always see the different takes that come out once this happened. I was like leaving school on Friday, going from school to FanDuel at Ball. I used to work with Gil, and then I had a remote that night. And, my phone starts blowing up with this news that the game's getting moved. And I'm like, oh, my God, this is crazy. First of all, as you're talking about unfair to the fans, there's a Flyers game on Tuesday night. One of the Flyers how the Wells Fargo Center parking lots are, Billy and Scott and Mike and everybody. It's going to be absolute craziness. Secondly, I believe that Ron Rivera, obviously, or the clout of Ron Rivera, has to be factored into this too. He's a senior coach in the NFL. He's on a lot of committees and all whatnot. And Daniel Snyder, Ron Rivera. Who knows how this got leveraged? But I think what's interesting, Scott, and this is what I want to ask you about, is here we are all whining, right? Which I think appropriately so.
Absolutely.
And then I read this Jordan Rodon tweet, and he's a colleague of ours that now covers the Giants. And he says the irony of all this whining coming from Philadelphia, they had no problem mocking Joe Judge for wanting the Eagles to try and win week 17 last season. Now they want a free win against a team which can barely field enough players. Thoughts, Scott Grayson?
Apples and oranges. I saw that tweet as well. To me, it's apples and oranges. You're saying that the Eagles fans whining over this, and quite frankly, look, it's not just the fans. I don't know if you guys saw it. There were plenty of players that took to social media to express their dissatisfaction with all this as well. And to me, that was most interesting, that these guys were that vocal about it as well. Even Darius Slay's wife was good on Twitter.
She's been pretty active, man.
She was out there as well. To me, Jordan Rodon's tweet missed the point. I think it was just a total swing and a miss. They are not the same thing. That would be as if the Eagles go into the last week of the season, and it looks the Eagles could need the game in the last week of the season, and the Cowboys play nobody. And the Eagles get in because they win a game that the Cowboys played nobody because they were resting guys, and say a team like Washington doesn't get in as a result. That's totally different than a game being moved 2 days, creating a shorter week on the other end. And that's what I think all the Washington fans are missing. It's because of your team. This team, which has done nothing wrong, has to rebound from this game and play another huge game the week after
on the road,
on short rest.
Yeah, and
the bumps
and
and bruises don't get the heal as well. You could argue, listen, it may work out. Jalen Hurts got 2 extra days on that ankle to rest. Fine. I can understand there's positives on all things here, and perhaps there's negatives as well. Obviously, there are. I just think that Jordan Rodon's tweet, and I think that encapsulates to me what the rest of the nation is looking at and totally miss. Look, I got plenty of tweets in reply to my thing from Washington fans. They're still, Santa Claus, you guys threw snowballs at Santa Claus, all this and that. It's like, listen, you are totally missing the point. The problem is this late in the season, we were all set up to have let's face it, a great NFL atmosphere in the link on Sunday, and this blew it up. To me, that's the bottom line. That's why people are upset, and what it creates a competitive disadvantage to the Eagles on the other side of this. That is where I think a lot of other people who are looking at this, certainly through the prism of being here in Philadelphia, I think the perspective is lost on a lot of those people around the country. And I think you have to factor that in. Where you are watching or looking at this from certainly matters. And you look at the other games around the league. What about Raiders fans who had
that's what I was going to say.
Planes already and gotten to Cleveland? We're on the way to Cleveland and found out the game was moved.
Yeah.
What are you doing? I mean, these people work hard for this money. They spend it on your product, and then you go and you throw a big wrench in the whole mess.
And the thing is too, Scotty, the NFL, it's such a big, huge conglomerate that they don't care.
Not only do they not care, remember, like Scott said, before the season started, they came out with the terms for this year.
Right, that's right.
And now all of a sudden, 3/4 we're into the year, we're going to
move the goalpost.
Right? We're going to change it. That's just not fair. And like Scott said about home field advantage for like this game coming up Tuesday, if you looked on StubHub last night, there were thousands of tickets for sale for Tuesday on a typical Sunday that aren't for sale.
Right.
I mean,
and guess what, Scott? Our own Pete Thompson's affected because he was going to be at the game today.
Yeah, I wasn't going to be here. You were going to have to deal with Gil connecting on StreamYard. So you're welcome. You get me instead.
Yeah, I'm gonna plead the fifth on that. No, but that's a great point, and that is exactly. I didn't even think about looking at StubHub and seeing the tickets for sale. I'm sure it's a major problem. Look, how many people were looking to take their kid to a game?
Yeah,
maybe it was a Christmas gift. Maybe it was an early Christmas gift, and it was going to be the kid's first game. How are you doing that on a school night now? It's a shame. And I know night games in Philly can be fun when you have months to prepare for them.
Right.
That's the key word.
All right, Scott, one last thing I got for you, Scotty. Last night the Colts played, and looks like we are now in the
Carson Wentz got enough snaps. Now we get 3 picks.
But it's real quiet here in Philadelphia about Carson Wentz.
Yeah, it is. And let's face it. Look what he can be when he has a good running game, and when he has some receivers. Frankly, what he was asked to go out there and throw to last year, it can't be ignored. And we talked about it a little bit, but he was trying to fit that ball into some very small windows. He made bad decisions. There's no doubt about it. It was a bad year. There's no doubt about it. This is the quarterback I think the Eagles thought that he could be. And when you have the MVP, in my opinion, right now, in Jonathan Taylor running the ball, man, how much pressure does that take off of him late in the game when Taylor breaks that one for a touchdown?
Right.
He didn't have that necessarily here, and it certainly wasn't called that way. And credit Frank Reich for the way he's calling the games for Carson. I think he's certainly suiting his quarterback well. It got off to a bit of a rough start, but I think the whole team has settled into a rhythm. And look, I frankly hold nothing against Carson. I wish him all the success there. Unfortunately, all the parties involved had fractured the relationship here beyond repair. And, look, the Eagles got a first-round pick out of it. They're not going to get a number 2 pick, which is what they invested in him. But getting that 3rd pick is pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And I think, look, it's just didn't work out here. You wish him the best. Certainly hold no ill will against him. And I just think he's better suited with the tools around him there to have more success. He did not have that here. He would not have had that here this year, I don't think, even though they're running the ball well, and this offensive line is playing better. I don't think he would have had that. So, credit to him and credit to Frank Reich and the Colts for finding a marriage that worked.
All right, Scotty Grayson, we're not going to even ask you for a prediction. It's
I'll
too far away. Give us a prediction.
Because I tell you what, I think these players are going to take out a whole lot of frustration against this team. I think the Eagles are going to win 41-10.
Woo! Whoa. 41-10. Woo. I love it. Scotty,
that's why he's a pro.
We really appreciate having you on each and every Sunday to give us the latest news and notes on the birds. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Have a wonderful, wonderful holiday, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, Merry Christmas to all you guys as well, and keep rocking that sweater, Billy.
All right, take care, Grayson.
There he is, Scott Grayson. You can follow him on Twitter at @SGraysonFox29. You see him, hear him on the Sports Bash with Mike Gill every Monday for Grayson's Grades, 973ESPN.com. And, of course, watch him Sunday night on Sports Sunday.
So you guys both saw this list, by the way. So all 4 D linemen, the key guys, are all back.
Yeah, they're all back.
Jonathan Allen, James Smith-Williams, Montez Sweat, the guy that started this all, and Casey Toohill. That name sounds familiar, doesn't it? Didn't he used to play for the Eagles? Yeah, all 4 of those guys are now off the reserve COVID-19 list. The thing is, that means they're just off that list. Only Sweat so far has been designated to return to practice. So you get off the list, then you get to go to return to practice. But we'll see how many of those other 3, I'm sure, push it all the way to
Scott
Tuesday.
Grayson on the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline. The first hour of the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. Surety is an industry-wide leader with a team of experts to help you through the entire process, from contract signing to closing for the shortest center city and every place in between. Surety Title is there for you. 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA. That's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. Friends, let me tell you about Maserati, the Mainline, located just minutes from downtown Philadelphia. They offer a client-focused car buying experience designed to exceed all expectations and invite you to stop and see the area's largest selection of new Maseratis, including the sporty Ghibli midsize sedan or the class-leading Levante, the only SUV worthy of being called a Maserati. Maserati, the Mainline, also leads the nation in certified pre-owned sales and has the highest quality like new Maseratis available on the market. Your experience does not end at the point of a sale, as Maserati, the Mainline, offers free pickup and delivery for scheduled service appointments and provides a new Maserati loaner car. So be audacious. Call my good friend Michael Pileggi at Maserati, the Mainline, today at 484-804-4800. That's 484-804-4800, or visit them online anytime at motml.com. Of course, that's the only place to buy a Maserati. When we return, we'll continue more here in the locker room with Mike Carlin and Pete Thompson. This is Billy Schweim. Yeah. All right, man. Merry Christmas, fellas.
Merry Christmas.
To you too, William.
Yeah.
To you too, sir.
Isn't this year a lot better than last year?
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
a
this
lot
the whole
better.
except for I remember as a kid. Remember the Immaculate Reception?
Oh yeah,
That was
Franco.
that was right. I'll never forget this. It was around Christmas time. It was snowing there in Pittsburgh, and I'll never forget. My dad and my brother had to go out and get extra lights. Like we needed, like a strand had burned out, and I said, "Well, I'm going to stay here."
Oh, they missed it.
Yeah, they missed it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I stood home. I stood home. I stayed home because I was we had a fire in a fireplace. Somebody had to stay back, and I don't know. I just didn't want to go. And I saw the Immaculate Reception.
And
I
they
always
did.
remember around the Christmas tree we were decorating the tree, and the fire was going, and it was snowing. And,
I have the biggest question of the morning. Then,
what's that?
with that catch, in your true heart,
Right?
did the ball hit the ground?
No.
Without a doubt. What do you think?
No,
You're like-
No way is that a catch. But hey,
he
the
knows.
rules,
Well, Mike's
the-
laughing because he knows Franco personally.
I know personally.
the rules were different back then.
I
you
saw
know?
Mike's face light up because I know he knows Franco personally.
Yeah,
I don't think
right.
it hit the ground.
I think
What's he say?
I think it did hit the
Oh,
ground.
he won't say.
Of course he won't say.
He
Why
won't
would you?
say, yeah.
Why would you reveal?
Well, you're
it?
smiling like you know something.
A friend is always a friend.
We
Right.
should have
You
gotten
say that.
Franco on today for that. Well, he's at the Steelers game, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
he does all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right? But some great memories, Pete, of football and the holidays. You know what I mean? Some
Very much so.
big games. Just not to have this game today. And I know, Pete. Look, you got to be more infuriated than anybody else. You were going to this game today.
I'd be, yeah.
I mean, the thing
On a
is
Sunday.
like initially I was like, all right, we can pivot. And then I'm thinking like, man, that's going to be a long day. And then I'm thinking, well, I can't call out sick the next day. Everybody in the world knows that I'm going. So you can't be like, oh, I got a cold, I got a cough, right? Not for nothing. It's, we're in school Wednesday and then a half day Thursday. How are you not going to show up for work when all
Right, on a half a
when all
day.
you're doing is showing Elf or Jingle All the Way, right? The one with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sebastian, right? Or what was the guy's name?
Elf is fun.
Elf is a great one. With that gets played
By
a
the way,
lot.
Mike, did you see it live? The Immaculate Reception.
Home Alone.
I didn't see it live.
How about you, Pete? Did you
I
see
did
that
not
live?
see
I did not see it live.
I saw it live.
What year
Yeah.
was that, Billy?
I think it was 72.
72.
72.
So I was one,
72.
Billy. I was just looking for a bottle and a new diaper, man. I was,
No, he was watching it. He doesn't know he was watching it. That's all.
I mean, I do have memories of like my uncle kicking in the TV when Clint Longley beat the Redskins back on like around Thanksgiving time. I do have memories of like,
I have.
And how about what Grayson said, that people from Washington still bring up the Santa Claus throwing snow? That is
they
the
got
biggest
nothing
joke.
else. They
You
got
know, that
no
was,
other. Yeah.
I mean, that's
whatever.
not even true. I mean, yeah, the Santa. The reason why they threw Santa because he was a drunken bum. That the guy was a horrible Santa, right?
Frank Olivo, I believe, is the gentleman's name.
Isn't that why they threw snowballs at him?
Well, but he
was drunk.
He was pulled out of the stands.
Yeah, he was pulled out of the stands.
He was trying to keep warm at a crappy football game like everybody else, and then they thought he was a sad sack Santa. Blame the Eagles. Don't
Right.
blame the guy. Come on.
Hey, by the way, the locker room in Blitz's Market want to discount your Eagles game day meal during the season. Eagles season on game day. Get an Italian hoagie for just $5 when you mention the locker room. Get down to Blitz's all season long at 21st and Asbury Avenue in Ocean City. Blitz's now has online ordering at blitzesmarkets.com or give them a call at 609-399-9983. Blitz's is home in the dill pickle hoagie. It's really a big deal. Now, you're going to have all day Tuesday to buy a hoagie,
Yeah, that's good. I
Get
mean,
down there.
the
Go see
schedule's
David
changed a
Jones.
little bit, right?
right?
Listen, I need a few sandwiches to have some fuel for the game.
You better stop by there and pick them up.
It's going to be a little cold out there too, Billy. So,
You know what? I wrote in my article every Friday that I post on 97.3ESPN.com. The weather has been it doesn't seem as we've approached Christmas. The weather has been
Sometimes
warm.
it's
It's
60
been-
degrees,
yes.
59 degrees.
It's been unseasonably warm, and it's
that's
just
good
not.
for the golf courses.
But
I saw people playing golf.
But don't you have a hard
yesterday.
time getting
I
into
do.
especially with your two fake trees that you guys have?
No, the fake trees don't bother us at all.
How do you
Yes,
get in the spirit with a fake tree in warm weather?
It would be nice if there was some snow. Now, there's going to be precipitation on Christmas, Billy. It's just going to be rain.
It's
That's
gonna
what the
be rain.
forecasters
Well,
are calling.
anything. Yeah, I mean, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
I know you are. Just like the one, yeah. Hey, 6 1:00 games today, 3 4 o'clock games, and then the New Orleans Tampa Bay game. In case you guys forgot what our traffic is on 97.3 ESPN. We had to do a little pivot here, and tip of the cap from me to Josh, really. I mean, Mike Gill too, but Josh especially. I mean, when that news came down on Friday, that just threw everything out of whack, So it's Titans and Steelers. That's going to start at 12 noon when we're done. Niners, Falcons, and then the 8 o'clock game, the Saints, Bucks. So should be a triple header.
Josh was stressed out yesterday, Pete.
You think? and how did he deal with it? You're saying
he actually did it.
You're saying I'm short with you. How was he yesterday?
He did well. He only barked at me a couple times.
Oh, deservedly so.
Now, Carlin. Sure. We were talking about the draft next year. There's not enough quarterbacks, but there are some defensive ends, and Lord only knows our defensive ends have been coming up short.
Yeah,
right. I mean, Barnett and Josh Sweat, Kerrigan. What's Kerrigan doing?
Nothing. This is we're always every team's always looking for who's coming out on the quarterback. And typically year from year we have at least one or two, sometimes three to pick from. This year, everybody's putting their balls on the guy from Pitt.
Right. But so, and we've discussed this earlier, like defense has been a sticking point for us this year. So let's load up.
This is the year that there's
right.
If we're
I mean, the number one guy that they're listing, if you just Google top draft prospects, is Kyle Hamilton from Notre Dame, right? Then you got the Oregon kid, Thibodeau, is only a sophomore. He's 6'5", 258. Of course, Alabama's represented. And the other thing you see, Hutchinson, by the way, you got to go to 7, Mike. He's a senior defensive end from Michigan, obviously with game experience. But
the guy on the other side of he's on one side, he's got a teammate from Michigan who's going to go in the top 10 too on the other side.
Right. I'm trying to find him too.
It's a weird name. Starts with an O.
Pickett's all the way down at 15. That's why they say the quarterback's Daxton Hill, I think, is the next guy that they list. Here, I'll find him for you. That's all right.
I just think, like, we were talking yesterday on the program about, most teams that win the Super Bowl have great quarterbacks, obviously, right? But there have been teams that have won defense.
The guy with the O you're thinking of is David Ajabo. He's a junior linebacker.
Yeah. Really good. Yeah. And you can play him all over the field.
Right.
He can line up as a linebacker. He can go from sideline to sideline.
But to Mike's point, that's a guy that in this ranking is listed as the 60th best college football player right now. That's a guy that could be got.
Yeah.
Hey, 609-403-0973 is the text board. You guys want to shoot in a text to participate in the program and on your thoughts on the Eagles moving the game till Tuesday.
Well, Joe D's already done that in anticipation. You read the number. He says, I truly hope that since Scrooge Goodell is making the Eagles play 3 NFC East opponents in 13 days, that we take it out big time on Washington Tuesday, making them guys wish they never left the COVID list. Go Birds. Merry Christmas. Thank you, Joe D. We appreciate that.
609-403-0973. If you want to participate in the show, send us a text message with your thoughts and opinions.
I got another one from Dan from EHD. Now, this was earlier when you were talking about the Colts game last night and how entertaining that was. Dan's opinion is that the Colts are running Jonathan Taylor into the ground. He's going to have nothing left by the playoffs. Remember, guys, we've seen it before when teams have one stud running back with no rotation. Example, Adrian Peterson, unstoppable. Then in the playoffs, where was he?
But here's the thing, though. I mean, Grayson had said it perfectly. I mean, they're running the ball, and it makes Carson Wentz look a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean, they're taking all the pressure off him, and
if he wasn't having the year he was having, we'd be so happy. Fans be calling us. It's like, we did the right thing. See, we got rid of him. He was a bum.
Well, that's the
we got crickets out here.
Dan fired off like 4 questions, but his last one was, this is the ultimate question. What would the Eagles be if Wentz was the quarterback this year? And I think that's a fair question.
That is a fair question.
What would he be with actual talent and weapons around?
Remember what Scott said? He had no one to throw to last year.
Right.
He doesn't have what we have this year with one player, with Smith.
Yeah. And an improved tight end play, and the line actually able to keep the quarterback up,
running people out of town and coming back to bite us in the rear end.
Once again.
Well, even though we don't have the Eagles today, there are some important games today. I mean, you have Dallas going to the Giants, and I don't know if we
need the 49ers to lose.
Yeah, we got the 49ers.
We got that on our end.
And there's a couple big
49ers Titans
that we should be looking at that could really help us out down the road.
The 49ers play the Falcons.
Oh, the 49ers
Yeah.
played Falcons. I'm sorry.
But
Titans, Steelers, Bucks.
I don't know if you guys
I
are like
love
me,
you,
but
Billy.
I'm always looking at who we're playing next. Like I'm already
Sure.
past Washington,
Sure.
thinking of the Giants, and I'm like, man, wouldn't it be nice if I know? Trust
Wait
me,
a second.
Don't
So
get me wrong.
who
I don't
you
want
who
anybody
you
to get
rooting
hurt.
for here? You rooting for Dallas or you rooting for New York?
Oh, I want Dallas.
Yeah,
Yeah, I want Dallas to kill the Giants
because
I want
A,
actually
you want the
someone from the-
Giants to be injured and banged up, and then B,
you said it, I
right,
didn't say
and
it.
then
Yeah.
B, you're also thinking that you want Dallas to run away with the division.
Yeah.
I want the
So that
Giants
week
to beat
17
Dallas.
No, Bill,
So
why?
that
Who
week's-
cares? The Giants they
Billy,
stink.
listen to what he's saying.
So the
Yeah.
week 17 game doesn't matter
Doesn't
as
matter.
well.
We want
Yeah.
Dallas going into that last week saying we don't care. We're not going to play anybody on the field.
I
And the
can't
Eagles may need that
I
win to
can't
get
subscribe to that philosophy.
Billy
I
didn't root
hate
for
the Giants.
Dallas last week.
I hate
He's
the
not going to
Giants.
root
I'm
for
not-
him this week.
I don't put them on my fantasy team. I don't talk about them.
in. I don't have to watch the game, but I
That
want them
sounds
to
like a
win.
you problem.
Yeah, I do want them.
By the way, Billy, the Niners are playing the Falcons.
That's what I just said.
I'm just helping you out here because you had said tight.
I got it written down right here. Bucks 49ers. I just
Where's that?
misspoke.
Where's that newspaper?
No, it's right here on my notes. Pete.
I'm just busting your
Yeah,
stuff.
sure you are.
I love
I-
Christmas time, man. He's up.
Christmas time is here.
Hey, yeah, Charlie Brown Christmas. Find
It's
out.
tonight. It's tonight. I'm glad you brought that up. Finally, you mentioned something that I'm actually happy about. No,
let
I'm
me
kidding.
do this. Pete's
It's
gonna
tonight at 8:00
Oh,
on PBS.
I'm gonna watch that
So
with my
set-
daughter.
Yeah, you and the Doopy Doo can
the
watch that on
Doopy-Doo.
Channel 12.
By the way, you know what's the best part about Christmas? My
Kids.
6-year-old. Oh my God.
Yeah.
We yesterday. So
Younger
when
the
I got home
better.
from the show yesterday, we all got not dressed up, but she did. She got really dressed up. She was all excited. We went out, did some little shopping. My mom, my 100-year-old mom, my wife, my stepdaughter, my daughter. We all got in the car. We went shopping. Then we went to dinner. Then we got a tree. She was so excited, Mike. She was Pete. She was so excited. We had a fire in the fireplace.
It's a wonderful time.
It is. It's just
Younger the
wonderful.
better
She was
for the
excited
kids.
and eggnog for dad.
I had eggnog last night. All right. First hour of the locker was powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. From the shortest center city and every place in between, Surety Title is there for you. With 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA, that's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. Just about everybody in our area has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine, run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunnock. But when you wear their private business network they call the Legacy Club. Every month, they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia and South Jersey to attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and see it's a fit for your business, send an email to ken@jerseymanmagazine.com or give him a call at 856-912-4007 for more information. All right, when we return, we'll wrap up the first hour of the locker room with Billy Schweim, Mike Carlin, and Pete Thompson.
This is Elvis, I believe.
Wow.
It is Elvis. You don't have to believe it. It's him. I know Elvis.
First hour's in the books. Hour 2 ahead of us. We got the fantasy football guru, Brian Hartley. And it's playoff time, Pete, and I'm kicking your butt in round 1.
I haven't had anybody go yet. Not a single player. He's had 2.
Yes,
By the way, I feel like Sir Mix-a-Lot over here. Watch this. Ready, Billy? Ready?
Yep.
Ready? You watching? You watching? See what I did there?
So now you transitioned real well. And we're going to transition real well as we move from hour 1 to hour 2. Like I said, the fantasy football guru, Mike Carlin, Pete Thompson, the Plymouth White Marsh gang is in here.
P-Dub.
It's the locker room with Billy Schweim right here on 97.3 ESPN. We're back here in the locker room on the 19th of December as we get ready for Christmas time, the most wonderful time of the year. And Mike Carlin's in the studio. Pete Thompson, the Plymouth White Marsh gang is here, and
The Colonials.
that is my favorite Christmas show of all time. Is the Charlie Brown Christmas.
Charlie Brown.
Tonight, 8:00.
8:00.
This is why you want to watch it, because A, it'll be on your TV. B, it's free. You don't need Apple Plus or Apple anything to do it. Although I know you are an Apple guy.
Just turn it on.
Just turn it on like you used to.
Get the fire going in the
fire
fireplace
going,
with a
nestle her
real
in.
tree.
Now, since it's you, I mean, if you need me to text you at 7:45, 7:50, and 7:55 to remind you,
ready.
20 seconds there, time.
Right, Billy, Christmas special, Billy, doopy-doo, Billy.
All right, guys, before we transition into the fantasy football guru in 15 minutes, we are mired in mediocrity. You look at the Sixers at 15-15, and the Flyers at 12-12-5, and the Eagles on Tuesday night can get the 500 at 7-7. Mired in mediocrity. What do you mean, Mike? I mean, we deserve better in this area, don't we? We got four. Yesterday we talked about this. We have four sport teams here. One of 11 cities that have four teams. All the major teams. We deserve better.
We deserve better. In the past, we've always gotten better. So you've gotten used to having good years from the majority of our sports all the time.
No, I mean not
this year, maybe.
No, because we had Pat Williams a couple weeks back.
Oh, remember that year he was talking about?
That was my senior year in high school,
80 or 81, the one where all the teams were in there.
Everybody.
That was my senior year, fellas.
Everybody made it.
Villanova wins.
That was my senior year.
Talking about teams I'd
in
forgotten
high
about.
school.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: 46 years since the Flyers won a Stanley Cup, and last night, Pete Thompson. If I ever see an effort like Yandel like that again, he will be I will just go nuts on him.
I believe I sent a former radio colleague of ours a text about that, and I said Yandel stinks. I'm cleaning this up, and then I said F the Doug Jarvis streak. He has to sit. That's part of the problem.
But here's the thing:
Billy.
it's the effort. Pete, I don't care that he stinks. It's the effort. No effort.
Do you hear me when I speak?
What?
Doug Jarvis.
Okay.
Do you know who that is?
I know who he is. What the streak?
Keith Yandel is pursuing a streak that he's like the Iron Man, like Steve Largent in football. Okay. He is, and that's why they're hesitant to take him out of the lineup, because they're afraid to be the coach that sat him.
Wow.
Even though he stinks.
Wow.
Even though he stinks.
So we put him on the ice just to put him on the ice.
Right. I mean, that's and Keith Yandel's approaching that streak. It was 964 games. Okay.
So to me, when I saw that last night, I was flicking around.
Keith Yandel is now up to 922.
When I flicked the channels last night, I was watching the ball. It was some good ball games on last night. Some fun games, right?
Wait, are you done with the Flyers? Because I had
no. I'm just saying. I was flicking. I was flicking the television. I just happened to turn that on when I saw that play. And I just could not believe what I was seeing. That effort is one of the worst efforts I've ever seen out of a professional athlete in my life.
But the problem is you needed to watch the first period. The first period is the Flyers that we thought we were going to get this season. Claude Giroux scored at 4:19 into the first period, and then Oscar Lindblom scored at 7:32, and Lindblom assisted on the Giroux goal. I mean, that's Lindblom as complete and as good as you're ever going to see. Ottawa was back on the hills. The Ottawa coach called a timeout, Billy. Yeah. When do you see when do you see him call a timeout in the first period?
Rarely.
Here's the thing. These guys are starting to score now. They were in a drought for a long time. Lindblom had 1 point like his first 21 games. He started to come out of it. And then you get an effort like Yandel.
Yeah, the Yandel play to me. I told you when I texted the guy.
Right,
I mean,
I know.
That's look, streak be damned. In my opinion, that's a guy that you, if he makes a play like that, you can't be starting him again in your lineup. Now I understand they've had some injuries and they've been shorthanded. They had to sign they signed a defenseman off of waivers. Didn't they? They brought a guy in Cronauer or something. Now right. I feel like I'm doing Good Morning Vietnam.
Here's the thing. The Flyers and hockey, you just sometimes that puck just doesn't bounce the right way. You could be as pressing and you press too much. It's only in baseball you get pressed too hard at the plate.
Connaughton, by the way, Kevin Connaughton,
but,
just so we don't butcher that.
But when you have an effort like that, Mike, that's the equivalent of like when you're playing basketball. It's just somebody gets to walk right around you without
if
even.
We see that as just a fan. Imagine the guys on the bench.
I know.
That are seeing it and saying, "Whoa, what's?"
So if I was Claude Giroux last night, I would have picked him. I don't know.
You got to pull someone to the side.
You know what's crazy, Billy?
He does that
in 1349 of ice time. He did not get a plus minus. He was not registered on a plus minus because obviously, even though there was no goal scored on the play, it was a huge giveaway.
No. It was a shorthanded goal, wasn't it?
Well, look, I'm looking at the official event summary. Okay. You're going to call
went around him and scored a goal.
You're going to call up the NHL and say that the
he was probably on the ice for when a goal was scored. That's why he probably has a 0.
Pete, I got a question for you.
He's even, right?
Okay, so you're saying because he was probably on one of the.
Well, yeah, he was probably on one of the.
Okay, so he was a -1 on the one play, and then he got a goal scored back. Right, and that's why it shows. All right, now that's a fair point. Yeah. Okay,
I got a question for Pete.
Yes, sir.
Pete wasn't here 2 weeks ago when we had Josh, and we were talking about the coaching situation and maybe something may happen.
Right.
And the very next day it happened.
Right.
Okay. As we all know, hockey's not my forte. Okay. But let me ask him what I asked you and Josh.
All right.
Okay. 2 things. We were just talking about a player not playing up to his ability.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to the guys, who is on the team where in between periods, someone actually pulls someone to the side and says, hey, you got to get your act together here. Like is there one player on the team that you like that you think, because Josh started naming and Billy like 4 or 5 like Hall of Famers that are on this team. And they're all like, I'm not sure if he would do it or he would do it.
Well, it's definitely not Giroux because he doesn't do that, Pete. I mean,
I don't think. I think he's more of a quiet leader. I don't think he's the vocal guy, and that's why when you get Hall of Fame players that are willing, like back in the day, Messier would go tell you that you're not bringing it. You know,
is there anybody on this team? Maybe there's a younger guy that's coming.
Well,
and that's where.
To be honest with you, a guy like Zach McEwen, you know, the guys that play with Kevin Hayes. Yeah. Kevin Hayes is social enough and vocal enough, but he hasn't been there. Kevin Hayes has been injured.
You established this when we talked about this last time that Chuck Fletcher brought in 5 guys that all had letters on their jersey, so they're all leaders,
right? Yeah, but so to your point, then Billy, Ryan Ellis would be the guy that would do it, and he hasn't played.
No.
You know, so they don't have that voice in the room.
How about Rutsalainen? He had an A on his jersey.
Yeah, he's been good.
He has been playing well
good.
lately.
Now he did end up with a -1 last night, but
we've had the last 2 weeks with a new coach. Are you two both happy with this guy?
I think that they're starting to buy into his system. Look, the drought finally lifted. They're like Billy
they just weren't scoring.
They're finally scoring goals, and I also think that their power play's been improved. So yeah, so far the results. I mean, they haven't won every game, but they've been in them. Okay. You know,
so you see him tracking up. Then
sure, I see growth. I see progress. Do I see them even making the playoffs at this point? I can't say that, but what I can say is that like a game like last night, if they played all 3 periods the way they played the first period, they're winning the damn cup. They played so good in the first period, and then they just lose their way. And, you know, like Bill, and that's what drives Billy crazy. Not just that Yandel screwed up, but that it led to a shorthanded goal. It led to a
shorthanded goal. It's just
Billy, does Carter Hart make that save and then erase it, and we're not talking about it, but because he's out sick? I mean, that's the bigger thing we're not talking about with hockey right now. Right, well, the protocols are all changing. There's teams. What did you say, Billy, before we started the show? Boston and who else is shutting down?
Nashville,
right? I mean, the protocols.
They're not playing until after Christmas.
Yeah, it's craziness. Just craziness.
Second hour of the locker room is brought to you by the Great Bay Country Club, where it's not just golf, it's fun. Make Great Bay Country Club your club. Great Bay is an award-winning private golf club where you are greeted by name. It's home of the 3-hour and 58-minute round. You can play on their 18-hole championship golf course, enjoy fine dining, or experience lively atmosphere in the pub. For more information on how to become a member of this great country club, go to greatbay.com or give them a call at 609-927-5071. Great Bay Country Club in Somers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always a great day at Great Bay. When you get down there, say hello to Radio Ron Ralston for us. He's our man. Hey, My Winter Watchdog. Have you heard of New Jersey's premier vacant home management service, My Winter Watchdog? You know, those worrisome thoughts that creep into your mind every time you hear of a storm coming and the daunting task of driving down to the shore to check on your house, hours of time on the road. Let My Winter Watchdog be your eyes and ears with their 15-point inspection checklist. They offer a full menu of maintenance improvement services. Owner Debbie McGonigal and her team of property caretakers are professional, licensed, bonded, and insured. So don't let the winter worry you. They'll give your house that lived-in look. That's My Winter Watchdog. Go to mywinterwatchdog.com or give them a call at 267-202-1869. That's 267-202-1869. Or send Debbie an email, Debbie@mywinterwatchdog.com. When we return, we'll talk with the fantasy football guru, Brian Hartley. You're listening to The Locker with Billy Schweim, Mike Carlin, and Pete Thompson. Little Charlie Brown Christmas, man. Yeah.
It's hard to get some of
you in
these
the
because
mood.
they're all instrumental. You know what I mean? So I'm
love
trying to tee these up. This is the Vince Guaraldi Trio, 1965.
All right. So now it's fantasy football time, and of course it's playoffs, PT. And you and I are going head to head, baby.
Not a game. We're talking the playoffs.
Not practice.
We're mixing quotes.
But I'm looking at my fantasy thing here. My list. I got Q's and O's. Everything is red on my team.
So that means you're dead. Once you go red, you're dead. Is that what you're telling me?
You get to the end of the year, these guys are all banged up and they're out. So we got to get the fantasy football on here to point me in the right direction in hopes that I can be a little bit more competitive. So let's go to the Maserati and the Mainline Sports Hotline and bring in the fantasy football, which is brought to you by Stella Exteriors. They've been providing professional roofing and siding at affordable prices since 1996. Did you know that only 2% of roofing contractors qualify as a GAF Master Elite installer? So if you do the math, choosing Stella Exteriors takes 98% of the worry out. That's Stella Exteriors, 636 West Avenue in Ocean City, New Jersey. Give them a call at 609-399-1010. That's 609-399-1010. Let's welcome into the locker room the fantasy football guru. He's mine and yours, Brian Hartley. What's up, Guru?
What's up, guys? How we doing today?
Guru, I got the PT head-to-head in a playoff game, and I look at my lineup. I got Q's and O's, and everybody's out.
Yeah, that's all right. Pete and I already decided his lineup, and you're going to lose today. So it's already done. He's already gotten his professional advice, and you're basically might as well just go to bed, and it's over.
And the quarterback is toast.
How many fantasy players though in this league aren't going through the same thing? Brian, I mean, it's like this year, everybody on my thing has one of those red, it looks like a flag. I don't know what it is. What's that?
Yeah, the little COVID flag, the little red thing protocol. Yeah, it's been a wild week. And then, you throw in these late changes on Friday with some of these games being moved. And what happened was some of these guys were out. They were in their playoffs, and they made some moves. They made some drop ads. And then all of a sudden the games moved. The protocols are being relaxed. They might be able to play now, and now they've dropped them and moved on. And it's been wild. It's really going to be interesting to see how this week plays out. And the good news for me was I had a bye, so I didn't do anything. I just sat back and relaxed this week in two of my leagues, so it's kind of nice. But, yeah, a lot of people were scrambling, and now they might be kicking themselves. And, there's still a lot of debate because there's still some guys that are on that protocol for Tuesday's games. But you got to make a decision now. Do you think the guy's going to play? Because you got to pick somebody up that's probably playing today to fill that spot. You can't wait till Tuesday.
Yeah, the Thursday night game, Mahomes scored for me. He had 29.6 points, and it was a great game to watch as well. Herbert was scored some points last night. Wentz. So I mean, the
Jonathan Taylor,
Jonathan
man,
Taylor.
that run right there.
Yeah.
I was in the car when I heard that run.
Never heard of him before.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor. He's fairly talented. I heard that run and I thought there's millions of fantasy owners out there right now that can't believe that Taylor just ripped off a 67-yard touchdown run.
Absolutely. That was, again, you're in playoffs now, and the guy, he had a good game yards-wise, but hadn't found the end zone at that point. And then you're thinking with 2 minutes, they need a first down. They're just going to run it a couple times, and for him to break through, you're absolutely right. For a fantasy guy, you are jumping through the roof at your house, yelling at the TV for him to go and not to get tackled.
And what a performance by Travis Kelce the other night. I mean, that guy's he's amazing.
I don't want to talk about it. That killed me the other night. I was going against him. He was 3 for 30 in the first half, and I thought, all right, this is good. I got Mike Williams. Mike Williams is actually ahead of him at halftime. Like, if this could be a wash, what a win for me. Well, the second half, he goes on for 7 catches, 161 yards, 2 touchdowns, and I couldn't even sleep that night. I was so aggravated. I'm in a giant hole already now, and I don't know how I'm going to climb out of that one.
So I had Mahomes against Pete Thompson. I had Mahomes, and I had another player. Let's see, but they're
you had Herbert against me. Mahomes is in your other league.
Sorry,
you had Justin Herbert.
Pete is. I just switched to the thing. Pete is still projected to beat me. I don't get it.
That's because I'm good and you're not.
Good.
Billy, the bottom line is you're just a loser. It's what it comes down to.
Let's cue up that Radiohead song. You're a loser, baby.
I can't even believe I made the playoffs. How about that?
Dennis Leary had another song for you, but we can't talk about that.
All right, give us your picks. The fantasy football guru, Brian Hartley, give us your picks for Week 15 in the NFL.
All right, Week 15, I like Tua Tagovailoa going against the New York Jets. Taysom Hill going to have to keep pace with Tampa Bay tonight, actually. And I like Justin Fields going against Minnesota. He had a great first half, kind of tapered off, but I think he's going to have to keep pace. He's got that big arm, so he could throw a long one. At running back, Chase Edmonds coming back, going against Detroit. And I like Craig Reynolds. If Jamal Williams truly is out with DeAndre Swift out, Craig Reynolds filled in nicely last week and could have a nice game against Arizona. Michael Carter coming back from the IR going against Miami. At wide receiver, OBJ should be cleared to go against Seattle, and I like him in that matchup. Look for KJ Osborne going against Chicago. Adam Thielen looking like he's definitely probably going to be out. KJ Osborne could be a nice play there. Christian Kirk, obviously, with no Hopkins going through the rest of the season, could be a nice play going forward. And I like the tight end Dawson Knox going against Carolina today. No Emmanuel Sanders for Buffalo. They desperately need to win this game, and Dawson Knox has been the go-to guy for Josh Allen in the red zone. So those are my picks for Week 15.
All right, so the person I was trying to think of, my screen switched, Edwards-Helaire. I know he's been injured, but he only got me 9 points. I need more out of him, man.
I was totally okay with that.
Yeah, you know what the problem has been with them is even since he's come back, he had the big game his first week back, but the last 2 weeks they've still been using Williams out there. He catches the ball. He's been finding the end zone. So, you know, he's not getting as many carries as Helaire, but he is stealing away some of those touchdowns and some of those bigger plays. So it's difficult. You got to play him because he is getting the bulk of the work, but Williams has been stealing the red zone touches and getting in the end zone.
I do like the ESPN app. They send you those alerts, Pete. You know,
sure.
If it wasn't for that, I'd probably be missing out on a lot of stuff. But they let you know if you're starting somebody that's not, you know,
active or going.
Yeah.
They even tell you if they think somebody on your bench could score more points. Hey, Hartley, I'll do this. To be fair, I won't ask you a fantasy question about any of the players on my lineup against Billy. But I will ask you my other league, my big money league. Which defense would you start? Would you start the Dolphins against the Jets today, or would you start the Rams against the Seahawks on Tuesday?
I would definitely go Dolphins against the Jets. They've been playing really, really well lately. It's a nice matchup. You know, Seattle, they've been hit or miss, but, you know, they're kind of committed to running the ball. And I know, you know, the Rams, the issue with the Rams is they haven't been scoring this year. They have all those big names on defense, Ramsey, Donald, you know, all these guys, Von Miller now, but they haven't been getting the touchdowns. So I got to play Miami today.
I use 3 receivers in this league, one in a flex position. One's Godwin. He's not moving. I got Jamar Chase in there, and then I had Van Jefferson as my third guy in the flex. But on my bench is OBJ. Now he's active. What do I do?
Yeah, I think you got to swap out Jefferson for OBJ. Obviously, you have to play Chase. You have to play Godwin, but I like OBJ. His ticks have been going up, man. He's been getting a little more action each week. So he's finding the end zone. So I think they're starting to develop that rapport. I like OBJ today.
And I have one more for you since you're my personal guru. I have Gibson for – sorry about that, Mike. I have Gibson for Washington. And on the bench, though, I have Melvin Gordon. And, like, Melvin Gordon's been hit or miss. But, gee, what do you do there?
Yeah, absolutely. That, you know, as a Denver fan, it's been great to watch. They've really been feeding both those animals there, and those guys have been running like crazy. But it seems to be, you know, you never know what you're going to get out of Gordon. Gibson's been tough to read this year. You know, they really had high hopes for him. I don't know. That one, I think I got to go with Melvin Gordon.
All right.
All right, Guru.
I like it. Thank you. Your check is in the mail.
The Eagles obviously moved their game. The NFL moved the Eagles game, Washington, to Tuesday. You, as a Denver Broncos fan, got to be pretty heated. Last year, they made the Broncos play with like a guy they got off the street, quarterback.
Yeah, they definitely did last year.
The wide receiver you're talking about.
Double standard, man.
This year, it's, you know, I mean, really, it's been this week. We haven't really had any issues until this week. And all of a sudden, I mean, things were popping up like crazy. I was a little surprised, especially not necessarily that they moved the game, but the time slot. I don't understand why they're playing both games on Tuesday at the same time. But it's definitely wreaked havoc on fantasy because, like I said, you know, are these guys now that we're probably not going to clear? Are they going to clear? And do you take the gamble? especially the fact that it's playoff time. If this was just a regular season week, I don't think people would have been as concerned. But fantasy-wise, it's do or die, and you're going to have to make some decisions or already made some impulse decisions that might, come back to haunt you. But it's difficult. Yeah, I mean, last year they said you're going to play. You're going to go with this, but as some of these teams like the Redskins, when they get 20 guys on the COVID list, that really gets into a dangerous situation as well.
All right, Guru, the Eagles play Tuesday. Give us a prediction. Grayson gave us a prediction. Well, might as well take yours.
Yeah, might as well take mine. You don't have to woo me, Billy. Just make me feel special. I'm going 24-17 Eagles.
You think it's going to be a close game, huh?
I do think it's going to be fairly close.
All right, Guru, we always appreciate. Listen, Brian, all kidding aside, Merry Christmas to you and yours. Have a happy and safe holiday. Enjoy Christmas time, the special time with all those kids in that van that you got.
It's going to be a crazy one, that's for sure. Every day they ask, is it Christmas today? Is it Christmas today? So it's going to be exciting. But Merry Christmas to you guys as well. I appreciate it. And, hey, listen, we'll be back next week.
All right, there he is.
Sounds good, Hartley. Take care, buddy.
Fantasy football guru Brian Hartley, brought to you by Stella Exteriors. They've been providing professional roofing and siding at affordable prices since 1996. Did you know that only 2% of roofing contractors qualify as a GAF Master Elite installer? So if you do the math, choosing Stella Exteriors takes 98% of the worry out. That's Stella Exteriors, 636 West Avenue in Ocean City, New Jersey. Give them a call at 609-399-1010. 609-399-1010. Stella Exteriors, the only place to get your roof. All right, when we return, we're going to go down to Baltimore and talk with former Eagles linebacker Brad Quast. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN. But before we do that, I want to remind people that the second hour of The Locker Room is brought to you by the Great Bay Country Club, where it's not just golf, it's fun. Make Great Bay Country Club your club. For more information, go to greatbay.com or give them a call at 609-927-5071. Great Bay Country Club in Somers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always a great day at Great Bay. Friends, let me tell you about Maserati, the main line, located just minutes from downtown Philadelphia. They offer a client-focused car buying experience designed to exceed all expectations and invite you to stop and see the area's largest selection of new Maseratis, including the sporty Ghibli midsize sedan of the class-leading Levante, the only SUV worthy of being called a Maserati. Maserati, the main line, also leads the nation in certified pre-owned sales and has the highest quality, like new Maseratis available on the market. Your experience is not at the point of a sale, as Maserati, the main line, offers free pickup and delivery for scheduled service appointments and provides a new Maserati loaner car. So be audacious. Call my good friend Michael Pileggi at Maserati, the main line, today at 484-804-4800. That's 484-804-4800, or visit them online anytime at motml.com. All right, when we return, we'll continue with more here in the locker room. Billy Schweim, Mike Carlin, Pete Thompson.
This is your song, Billy.
Yeah, man.
This is your song.
There you go. Nat King Cole, Pete. Good pull.
Pretty good. Pretty
pull.
good.
All right. My Saturday co-host, he works for the NFL, Mike. You know, he's down there. He's the uniform inspection guy. He's like Dean Wormer. Remember? Dean Wormer walks into the animal house and everybody hides their beer.
It's over. It's over.
So let's go to the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline, and welcome in our own Brad Quast. What's up, Brad?
What's up, guys? What's up? What you doing? I miss you guys.
Hey, man, it's Christmas time. It's the 19th of December, and we're, you got football. We're waiting. We have to wait till Tuesday.
So what'd you give me, Billy? What'd you give me for Christmas?
I got you
On my Christmas present yet?
I got you a live remote at the Hollywood Cafe.
Oh, okay. All right.
I got you tickets to Genesis.
There you go.
Yeah, it might be. That's it.
So,
hey, I got a quick question. Have you ever seen? So I'm down in Baltimore here. The Green Bay Packers are in town. Why are grown men wearing cheeses on their head? Cheese. He's a cheesehead. What's a cheesehead? I don't know.
Are there a lot of them down there? A lot of Green Bay fans?
Yeah, there's some great Packer fans down here. Yeah, there's some Packer fans.
Brad, are you calling us from the sidelines? Are you on the sidelines?
Oh, I'm in the parking lot right now.
Okay.
I'm in the parking lot, so I'm watching the cheeseheads. Yeah, I'm not in the building yet.
Okay.
I'm in the parking lot.
And you see a lot of Packers fans, huh?
If they're tailgating, go to their tailgate because they cook good.
Yeah.
Find a good tailgate from Green Bay. The brats. Have a lot of brats.
Yep.
What's the weather like down there?
Today, guys? It's 37 degrees.
Okay.
37 degrees here. So I got my pullover warm coat I got to wear. So it's going to be a little chilly on the sidelines.
Yeah, because the sun will be going down. That's a late start.
Now, what's the status of Lamar Jackson? Because he was questionable. Obviously, you're not in the stadium yet, but what have you heard? Is he going to play today?
I don't know the status yet, so it's a game time decision. So we'll have to wait and see with Lamar. So hopefully he's able to play. So both teams will be full strength, and it should be a great game to watch.
Aaron Rodgers, he's another guy that's he's only got one ring, but Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback, and when you have we talked about this yesterday, Brad. How necessary it is to have a great quarterback to win championships. There's only a handful of teams that have done it without one.
Yeah,
Very hard.
he's probably one of the top 10 quarterbacks of all time. And if you don't have that franchise guy, it's tough to win in this environment. He makes all the throws. He can and he can run the ball when he needs to. He's special to watch. So it'll be fun watching him on the sidelines today.
Hey, Quast, the fun part of your job, Brad, is too that you are on the field before the game. You are sort of the eagle eye guy, right? You're scoping things out, but you also do, I'm sure, run into people year in and year out, both the divisional opponents, you see the same people, and then every so often. So my question is, do you know anybody on the Green Bay staff? Do you know anybody that has ties to Green Bay that you haven't seen in a while and you're looking forward to just saying hello to?
Yeah, no, great point. So I'm looking forward to see John and Loretta Runyon. John Jr. plays for the Packers as starting left guard. So I'll see them on the field today. He went to Michigan just like his father, went to St. Joe's Prep in Philly. So I'm looking forward to see them. And then there's a guy that is in the PR department, not actually PR, but the scouting department. That's an ex-Hawkeye. So I'm looking forward to hook up with him as well. So it should be fun.
And they pay you for this.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, so it's fun. And then it's guys I played with that are either coaching or their kids come through now, and it's kind of fun to see the second generation come through. So it is fun to see and see guys. I know the refs, a lot of the refs that come through through the years, and so it should be fun.
Hey, Brad, do you have to check the refs to make sure that they're squared away with what they're wearing too, or?
Not the refs. Just all the Packers, Green Bay Packers, and the visiting sideline.
So Brad, if Aaron Rodgers came out with like something, what would you say? You walk up to him, what would you say to him?
Well, we have no interaction with them. That's a no. We go through the equipment manager.
Okay.
So they'll come out 90 minutes before the game, warm up. They usually do different things, and my sheet is a 3-page carbon copy. So when they go in for warm ups and they go in for before the coin toss, before the national anthem, I give it to the equipment manager. Then they usually come out, and then most of them are compliant for the game, the kickoff. Some aren't. And then at that point, they have until they go into halftime, and then they have until the third quarter to come out to be compliant. If they don't not compliant at the third quarter within the first 5 minutes of the third quarter, then they get written up. They get a picture and they get fined then for equipment violation.
I got a question for you, Brad.
And it's usually socks and not wearing the socks, not covering the knees and stuff like that.
Brad, it's Mike. I got a question for you. You're one of many that do this. Are there like, do you talk with your other guys that they're doing your role for other games when they say, oh, you got Green Bay next week, watch out for so-and-so?
That's a good question.
Every week we got to tell them.
Yeah, good question. Yeah, there's 2 of us at each stadium. There's a home and away sidelines, and it's guys I play with. It's all this job, all ex-players, so it's kind of a unique fraternity. And some guys, like if you talk to, if you're on a meeting or whatnot, some teams have more violations than others that aren't compliant. So yeah, so guys do talk, and everyone know who the violation guys are, and we just try to make for their safety, protect themselves and protect the shield. Make sure that they're representing the NFL in a proper manner.
Well, listen, Brad, have a great game today. We really appreciate you taking the time. I know you're working today to call into the show.
It's Brad Allen, by the way, is your referee today, Quast, if you didn't know that. So he's got a good first name, Brad.
Got to introduce yourself.
Okay. All right, but hey, guys, have a good show, and we'll see you next week.
I'll see you Tuesday.
All right, Quast, take care, buddy.
All right, there
All
he
right,
is.
guys, see ya.
See ya.
Brad
Have a good
Quast on the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline. That's a pretty
great.
cool job to have.
It really
That
is.
was
And
a
like
great
he
job.
said, it's a fraternity, and I didn't think about that, but I'm glad I asked. I forgot that Runyon's kid plays for Green Bay. Runyon's kid would have looked really good in Eagle Green.
We had him on our, I've had him on the show.
Runyon or the kid?
Both of them. I've had
Okay,
both of them.
fine.
He's
He's having a good year,
he's walking in his dad's footsteps, Mike.
Yeah. Michigan.
Right. I wonder if he plays with that scowl, because John Runyon was a big nasty.
Sure
What did
was.
Strahan call him? Big nasty, full of sex appeal or something?
Yeah, something like
No,
that.
Big nasty.
Twisted steel and non-sex appeal.
Right, that's it. Twisted
It's
steel
amazing
and
how-
non-sex.
Isn't it amazing how certain players get a sigma
Yeah.
attached to them?
Yeah.
But like John, they said John off the field, one of the nicest
Oh!
guys you'll ever
Could have
meet.
been-
Like a gentle giant.
Yeah.
But on the field, animal.
I've been in his company 3 or 4 times.
When I was covering the Eagles regularly for the TV station down here, the game would get done. You wouldn't leave for like 2 hours from post game. I mean, so it wasn't like you were worried about traffic or anything like that. But Runyon would park in the players' parking lot, like where everybody did. But he didn't have a Maserati, Billy. Sorry. He didn't have a Mercedes. He didn't have a BMW. He had a gigantic pickup truck. And in the back of that pickup truck, he had a gigantic Coleman cooler.
Nice.
And in that thing,
Nice.
he would literally,
I know
like,
where we're
after he
going.
got done his responsibilities, he'd walk out and he'd just stand around his truck and his friends and family, however many passes
Tailgate.
he
had his
gave
own
out.
tailgate party?
He'd have his own little tailgate
Nice.
party in the players' parking lot. As
love that.
McNabb was getting in his tinted window, fancy car, and Terrell Owens was going here, and all these skilled players are going. Runyon's just cracking open a couple cold ones, waiting for the traffic to finish.
Saving his money.
you know.
Saving his
Yeah.
money. They're all heading out the
Regular
bar.
guy. That's what makes him. That's what made him.
By the way, Billy, Jerome Boger, personal foul, Cowboys. He's doing the Cowboys-Giants game today. And my buddy, Clete Blakeman from Nebraska, is doing the Panthers and Bills game. You want any other referee assignments?
No, I
Since
don't. I
dialed
really
them
don't.
up?
I don't care about the strikes. Matter of
You
fact,
don't want to know who the
less I-
referee is for the
the less
Eagles
I know
game?
about him, the less I know about him, the better. We don't see. I've had Bob McAwee on my show several times. You know what they said? The mark of a good referee is you don't know who
Quiet.
they are.
Just quiet.
You don't know who they
No,
are.
Same thing. in
You don't want to
basketball.
know who the Eagles ref is for
Tell
Tuesday
me
night?
who the Eagles ref is.
Tony Carente.
All right.
not Sean Hockley. That was the 50-50 chance of getting that.
But that's what Bob
Yeah.
McElwee would tell me. The less you know about me, the better off I am.
I mean,
If I don't stand out to you, then
I mean, I did a
I'm
great
doing
job.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Who cares who
You
the
always
refs
hear
are?
that.
Just, I don't want to know.
Don
And he
Kaharski.
was one of the best.
Don
You-
Kaharski. Kerry
know-
Frazier.
Go eat a donut, will you? Listen, do you
I
know
knew I could
Bob
get
McElwee reffed the Super Bowl in 3 different decades.
Huh.
The 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Who's the
One of the only refs to do it.
Who's the one ref that I see like he does major college basketball games, he does NFL games, like an Italian guy, black hair. I'm trying to think what it is.
Statifor or whatever.
I don't know.
That might have been Gene Steratore.
Yeah,
But he
Sorry.
seems to do all the big
Stellator.
games like in both different
Stellator.
sports.
Yeah. He was a basketball ref too. All right. Second hour of the
Yeah,
locker room.
that was Gene Steratore. He did. Yeah, Vinovich also. So Gene Steratore and Bill Vinovich both refereed NFL football and NCAA basketball. The difference is that, well, no, they're both retired now. So there you go.
All right, Pete, the second hour of the locker room is brought to you by
It's brought to you by Great Bay Country Club. Sorry, I could talk.
Make Great Bay Country Club your club. Great Bay is a private club that you're greeted by name. Do you know that? You go down there, they say, "Hey, Pete, how you doing?"
That's true, but they say that where I go a lot of places. It's you
Yo,
that
Mike,
they're making
he's
feel
always
special.
he's always shaking hands and kissing babies.
That's right. Running for office.
I kiss babies a lot.
All right.
I get a lot of stares from like the moms and dads that don't know me.
For more information, go to greatbay.com or give them a call at 609-927-5071. Great Bay Country Club in Somers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always a great day at Great Bay. And, of course, everybody has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunnick. But when you were their private business network they call the Legacy Club. Every month they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia, South Jersey that attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and seems to fit for your business, send an email to Ken at jerseymanmagazine.com or give them a call at 856-912-4007 for more information. All right. When we return, we will wrap it up. You're listening to The Locker Room. Billy Schweim, Mike Carlin, Pete Thompson, right here on 97.3 ESPN.
13, 14 points. We were supposed to be one of the top 4 teams.
Sounded very holy, didn't it?
Yeah, this is throwing me off. This one.
Sunday morning church right there.
What do you got going on, Pete?
I think that was the end of one. And I look, there's no markers in here. Here you go. This is what I wanted.
Santa Claus, here comes.
There's
Santa
no
Claus.
Elvis tune.
All right, Carlin, you're a big college guy,
Yes.
and you're not happy the fact that Cincinnati is in the 4.
I'm not.
And
I'm not. I can give you a 30-second reason why.
we were just talking off the air about.
The floor is yours.
Go ahead. Tell me why.
You left out a team before the season started. All the committee always talked about was your strength of schedule, your record, and most importantly, winning one of the top 5 conference champions.
Right.
You just left the team out that did that.
Which
You
is
left
Baylor.
Baylor. They won the Big 12. They beat 3 top 15 teams. They did everything that they were supposed to do, but instead you put Cincinnati in. They won their division, yeah, but a division. Who's
Name
in
some of the teams they beat?
Oh my
Listen to
God.
this, Pete.
Some of these teams,
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it when I looked at East Carolina, Tulsa, Navy, Tulane, Temple, Murray State, Miami of Ohio, Austin Peay. Are you kidding me?
Right.
And
They're
you're
going to get
beating-
waxed by Alabama.
Yeah, you're supposed to be one of the top 4 teams, and I don't know what the point spread is, but it's like Alabama by 13, 14. I mean, it's a joke that you left that team out.
I really enjoy the week after. I mean, the week after Christmas, the bowl week. I
Bowl week.
love that. That's so much.
And there's
fun.
some great ones.
There's some good ones this
Yeah.
year.
Here's a fun one, Billy, by the way, as I'm scanning Twitter while you two are talking. The Giants only have 2 inactives. And you're like, wait, only 2 inactives? Daniel Jones and Ben Bredesen. The reason they only have 2 inactives, there's 8 players on the COVID list, including Kadarius Toney, Adoree Jackson, and wide receiver John Ross.
By the
Now,
way,
Leonard Williams and Sterling Shepard are active for the Giants.
the head coach of the New Orleans Saints, Sean Payton, he's out. He's got COVID. He had COVID last year. This is his second time, Mike. It's his second time having COVID.
It came back.
How do you get it twice?
I don't know. There'll be a third time. You watch.
This is unbelievable.
I think we'll be talking about this next year.
But I can't go to the Wells Fargo Center starting in January. Let me see your papers.
Yeah. I went to a Cleveland game. Every state's
state,
different.
right.
So I went and see my son. He works for the Cavs.
Right.
And I'm walking in, and 10 minutes before the game, he says, "Hey, you got your card showing that you were."
Let me see your
I said,
papers.
no. I said no. He goes, "Well, then you can't sit in the seats I was going to give you. If you sit within 3 rows of the court,
Oh, no
okay.
kidding.
Well,
yeah,
that's-
it was.
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's
Oh, I can
totally
see
different
that.
seats.
Pete, I can see that.
He was upgrading me.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
But
and
it would have been nice to maybe know that.
Right.
yeah. But
Well, you sat on the floor. Remember the last time you were
yeah, yeah. Because the next game I knew the show.
there? Right.
I had
You
it on
knew
my
how
phone.
it worked. By the way, Billy, Johnny G, we love Johnny G.
He's the man.
He texted in and said, Wentz is a bum, 5 for 12 with an interception. Without JT, they are 4-11. And we get a better pick with him staying in there. Go Birds. All right. Thank you, Johnny
True
G.
fan. True
Also,
fan.
Griner.
True
yeah,
fan.
and Dan from EHT did also chime in and say it's amazing to think that Rodgers should have never even won 1 Super Bowl. Mendenhall fumbled when the Steelers were driving to take the lead. I forgot about that play. Yeah, good stuff out of Dan, too. We always thank all our listeners that are on the text message board, right,
All right,
Billy?
Pete, so you pumped up for Tuesday's game or what?
On Sunday, am I excited about something on Tuesday? I mean, listen, I'll just say this. When I'm upset, I don't like it. It's inconvenient. But there's a certain gentleman. His name is Jim Thompson. That would be my 83-year-old father. Peter, don't tell people how old I am. Somebody's got to go and sit next to him, and that I'm honored that it's me, and we'll be there.
I got to be
You know?
honest with you.
That'll be
I've been a season ticket holder since '91 with Scott Simpson, the guys from Playland and everything. And it was the euphoric feeling of being horrible for a long time and then building to that championship in 2004 when we went to the first Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Or, in 2000. I'll never forget that. After that, it was tough for me to get back to until 17, obviously. But I lost the luster of going to the games like I used to.
You're talking like from the vet to the link?
No,
Well,
just
I
no,
think you're
just
talking
just,
about going to a game.
just going through the game, like the whole atmosphere.
You've gotten used to just being at home and having
Yeah.
a drink of your choice.
Yeah.
And going to the bathroom. When you wanna go,
But there
all
was
that.
nothing from. I love being at the stadium.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It's lost something.
There's
for
a
me.
lot to go. Our lives now are so busy.
Yeah.
It's a lot. We're thinking, wait, what? It's an hour to the game. Then we got to park. Then we
We-
got to walk
we-
in.
it's a
Then
whole
and then
thing.
after the game, if it comes down to the wire, there's going to be traffic. There's going to be
Brutal
You start
traffic.
thinking about all that.
You know,
where
right?
I'll just stay at home
Yeah.
and watch it.
Yeah.
2 or 3
I
years
get it.
ago, they changed the traffic pattern around South
Yeah.
Philly, and they did it with what they called was, we're going to streamline the traffic pattern. Well, I've never seen it more congested and worse. I think if
And
you just let the drivers handle it themselves, it worked much better than it does
So
now.
the reason why I brought this up is because now, like Tuesday, everything's changed. You gotta, you know what I mean? It's like I'd rather just stay home and watch it.
And Pete brought up at the beginning of the show that I didn't even think about. You got a Flyers game.
Right.
Like Pete said, all the parking that around that stadium where the Flyers are is usually used for the Eagles game.
Yep,
I
they
mean,
clear
Pete,
out.
It's
Pete-
going to be a disaster.
Pete, what's your record now with the Eagles?
I lost the Chargers game I was at, and then I won the Falcons.
So you're one.
Who did they play? Was it the
No, didn't you say
Saints?
Yeah.
So Chargers and Saints. So,
So
I'm
you're
1 and 1.
1. I'm 0-3.
Yeah. So stop going.
I saw the
I was
first.
at the Chargers game. That was my only game so
Okay.
far this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, I went to the first 3 games.
Didn't
of the
you
season.
see that like recurring nightmare? Keenan Allen, first down,
Yeah.
Keenan Allen. And then when the game was on the line, I mean, like when the Eagles scored in that game, Mike Carlin, you just knew that they weren't going to win because they scored with about 6 minutes left to go in a
Yeah.
ball game, and you just knew like that's too much time.
Let's leave.
All right. Hey guys.
Hey, speaking of let's leave,
Let's leave. Mike Carlin, Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. and your
Eagles
family.
24-9.
Let me rate that, Carlin.
Carlin
20
says 24-9. I got Eagles 30, Washington football team 13, Billy.
I
30 to 13.
I got the Eagles winning 27-10.
Merry Christmas, guys.
All right, Merry Christmas.
To you too.
Uh,
It's great
fans.
having you, Mike.
Next Saturday we'll be off. It'll be Christmas Day, and the following week will be New Year's Day. So no Saturday shows the next 2 weeks.
Do we come back? Alabama's number one.
And we'll come
National
back and
champions?
I hope not. I want to see Michigan win, but we'll see. Thanks for making the locker room part of your Sunday, because nothing could be finer than talking sports with the Schweiner. Stay tuned for our triple header, Titans and Steelers, coming up next, right here on 97.3 ESPN. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.